Welcome back, folks, to more Let's Play Dicey Dungeons. Okay, bit of admin here. This is post-recording. Why? This episode sucks. It is utter BS. Which episode for? So, yeah, I was grinding on that for about 5-6 hours of my day. Of my weekend, pretty much. And kept losing, because sod this run. So, essentially, yeah, I'm doing post-recording on my victory here. Also, by the way, folks, another little bit of admin. This is segmented. So, yeah, there's essentially 3 segments in this. Because I want to do other things, you know, and... You know, if you've got a problem with the fact that this is, you know, segmented, if I lose, I essentially just exit the game, and then I can go back into it and do another attempt at it. Then, you know, if you've got a problem with that, that's fair enough. But I do want to do other things, you know, to be honest, and sod this run. So yes, essentially, with the witch being the toughest character in the game, it's really, really annoying. This character, you know, like. I'm probably going to be ranting quite a lot in this, but there's a lot of things in this episode that is very much luck-based. Nudge, for example, is awful for us in comparison to the 2 things we could have got, which was Magic Missile and Magic Shield. Both quite useful. One does good damage, one can heal us, or can keep us from, prevent us from taking damage. I'm all over the place right now. This was bloody annoying to do. But... yeah, I mean, finally I got a bit of luck, actually, with that at least, so no evens, which meant that I was able to win by chucking dice at this Rose Knight. Okay, so, there are a couple of strategies you can use for this, and we do take Ice Shard. You can also use, like, Weaken, which is quite good, and Shock, which is also quite good. We do get Magic Missile in the end, and pop it in the 5 slot, which is nice, yeah. So now we get to one of the most annoying beginnings, or most annoying opponents at least in this, which is Sneezy. Sneezy's a pain if you're using Ice Shard, so I sort of try not to when it comes to this, because essentially, yeah, so Sneezy got really lucky here. Yeah, if you get doubles, all your countdowns go to 0, that's 12 damage taken. Yeah. This is like one of the bigger annoyances, that and Loudbird, in some of these runs. Spoiler warning, luckily, I did not encounter Loudbird. I was very, very fortunate there. Now it's sort of a decision, do I use Ice Shard or not? Because I have it unlocked. We do go Cauldron instead, though, to get a 5, which does get a Magic Missile, which will get us more damage. Probably the better option against Sneezy, because obviously with Ice Shard, you can turn things into 1s. We got lucky there, so we're taking 6 more damage with Spike. So there we go. But then we do win next round at least. Now, Crystal Ball's still looking quite good, but we are on like 10 health. The shop here is incredibly vital, because you can get good stuff, you can get bad stuff. Really, the one thing that I was after, and I was after it for a while, was Life Drain, because... there's not really too much in this run that can actually save your ass when it comes to shields and health. There's not much here, which can really do that. And obviously, Life Drain, probably one of the best healers in the game, I'd say, personally. It is quite good. But with that, we do get 2 Ice Shards off, once I eventually put the other one in, which gets us a second... on that, but then we take Magic Missile instead, just do a bit more damage. But we do freeze Stereo Head, so now Stereo Head's only going to be doing 2 damage per turn. So, yeah, with this, as long as we can just get quite lucky with where the weakens go and what we get, for example, that 5 there. Unfortunately, we got unlucky, but we also do have a 6 for Magic Missile, which is perfectly fine. And we do at least get to attempt to freeze a dice if needed, if we get something good with this Cauldron, which we don't, but at least we still got a freeze off. So essentially, I just need to survive this turn, which I do. 4 damage maximum I'm taking, which will give us a level up. Yeah, strategy in this, you can use like the, you can essentially just try and increase your dice, which may be required. It may be required, you never know. But yeah, Life Drain was the one that I went for, because obviously in this game, you've got to be quite lucky when it comes to this. So we do get a prepared slot ready, which is not too bad. And we do get the Life Drain, which is really good. Maximum 3 dice, drain 3 health. Also, yeah, I didn't notice that. You could change your spells in the spell slots, in the prepared spell slots. I didn't know that! I did not know that for the longest time. But yeah, now I do, and it really did help out when it comes to this. So, going against old Marshmallow here. A decent start with 7 damage. Yeah, so not a bad start at all. So, strategy with Marshmallow is going to be, yeah, trying to make him have only odds or only evens. And in this strategy, pretty much, we also just want to try and keep our health as high as possible here. We do eventually go for the Life Drain instead, and then just chuck it on the dice. Just try and keep our health a little bit high, because still, we do need to try and keep our health high, especially since we do have Life Drain. Life Drain does have its own problems. Obviously, we've seen it before when opponents have used Life Drain, is that Life Drain doesn't give you health if it hits shields, which isn't fun, but, you know, oh well. We do get Hall of Mirrors. Hall of Mirrors is good. Hall of Mirrors is quite good. We end up getting rid of Infliction to get Hall of Mirrors. Hall of Mirrors, good for long-winded fights, but you do really need to try and, you know, actually have the defensive capabilities to be able to last long enough in the fight, which I guess is the only issue here. But yeah, when it comes to this, we end up going for the Ice Shard, because I do remember how the baby squid plays. Is that the squid essentially requires evens to be able to attack us. Which, yeah, it's not getting very good luck in right now. Obviously, the blind is quite annoying, but we do just need to try and just hope, I guess, of getting maybe another Ice Shard or a Magic Missile, which is also quite good. So again, we get quite lucky with the odds there. So blind is okay. We do get a 4 for Magic Missile or for another Ice Shard, which is probably the better option here. So there we go. At least we get 1, and then we do another 4 damage. So that's all good. And there we go. We took no damage there because of ice. Some opponents are really bad against ice. Against ice strategies, Baby Squid's one of them. But there are some that are really good against ice. Sneezy's one of them, especially in this run. Anyway, we do get Magic Spear, which is interesting, but we don't take it because it's just too much improvements we need to be doing. You know, it takes too much time. It's too much admin to do when it comes to that. So next up, I decided to take on the Fireman. Now, the reason for this is because the Fireman is weak to ice, which is essentially our strategy right now. Unfortunately, we just get 2s, which is not great for Hall of Mirrors, but, yeah, well, it's good for Hall of Mirrors. Bad for Ice Shard, though. So Fireman is going to be able to do pretty much some big damage, specifically 8 damage on our turn. And burn 4 of our dice, which is also not great. But luckily, at least dice, with the dice, we do, if we throw them, it does double damage, which is quite good. At least. So I end up going for the +1 dice this fight, and just take the hit from burn, because why not? The ice is doing some good damage already. We're only taking 4 damage this turn, which is quite good. And we are able to do another life drain, eventually, with this too. Do we do life drain? It is a risky play to do life drain, but we're able to throw the dice. So we were able to get a bit of extra health. Not like it matters, we've already leveled up to level 4. Duplicate or Doppel Dice? Doppel Dice is an interesting one, but Duplicate is just better in our situation. If we can get a 5, Rat's not good in this situation. But if we get a 5, we can duplicate that, and if we have 2 Ice Shards on the board, that's 10 damage plus that. Really good. Really good. So we kick off immediately with the duplicate, since we did get a 5, as that will allow us to get potentially a second Magic Missile on the board at some point. But instead, yeah, we do get a Magic Missile, just so we can get everything already. The Sorceress can be annoying. Sorceress is probably one of those ones where Shock and Weaken don't do very well against. And she gets some massive damage in, and 2 shocks, which is really, really bad, including Duplicate being shocked, but we do necessarily need that. But we do instead duplicate the 6, Because in the end, Ice Shard would be nice to get. But we do just need to do as much damage as we can to the Sorceress. So we do use the Life Drain, which will get us back to 28 health. So we're on the same amount of health now. We do end up going for the Hall of Mirrors instead, though, to try and get an extra dice for this fight, as it's gonna last a little while longer. This one, she rolls really lucky there and gets 2 6s, and then uses Cauldron twice and gets a 5 out of it. Of course, yeah. This run, it's a lot of it is RNG. A lot of it is RNG. So we do get the Crystal Ball. We do get an Ice Shard, which is quite useful. But essentially it's all about, is it really required? Instead, we go and get the second extra dice. We do Drain Life for a little bit of health, which is quite good indeed. And then essentially it's 2 Magic Missiles. So I'm pretty confident the next turn I can beat the Sorceress. But it's all about me surviving this turn, pretty much. So yeah, rolling and gets 2 6s. Honestly, how bloody lucky can you get? And also got Life Drain as well, which is rather annoying. But luckily we are able to drain a little bit of life back. And then win with Magic Missile. But we're on 7 health right now. And we've got a lot to go in this level. Luckily, there's quite a lot of health around here. So we do take the health, and we also take the health from the shop to put us on 31 health, which is not too bad going down to the next floor. So, this is where the first segment is. I did lose to the Kraken on my first attempt. There are 3 segments altogether, I think. I think the Wicker Man's another one, and then the final boss. Those are essentially where the 3 segments are where I lost. But apart from that, I won. Yeah, I completely forget that I can't duplicate that, which is a bit annoying, especially with all that life drain there. But anyway, we try and duplicate the 5 to get some more magic missiles, but we can't really use it that much, but we could use it for later, of course. With this, we can also get Cauldron out, which may give us an odd number, or an even number. It does with a 2, which just gets a little bit of extra damage. So, Kraken. Kraken requires evens. If you can get Kraken to roll odds, best thing. So, yeah. But really, with this now, I'm in a lot of trouble. Because I have no idea if I can get an Ice Shard. Instead, I get another Life Drain. And a Curse as well. Because, sod me, I guess. Yeah, those are some good rolls. Those are some good rolls. Going for the Curse. Actually, no, they're not amazingly good rolls, actually, thinking about it. They're not amazingly good. But, yeah, we're pretty much playing completely blind right now. But we do have good damage and a way to heal ourselves. So as long as we can keep that going, we might have a chance here. That roll is a bit better. Because there's 3 evens in there, so that's a lot of damage. Obviously, Overwhelm Plus is a really, really good piece of equipment. It just does a lot of damage. You know, it's a bit nuts. Yeah. We're still getting some health back, at least. We're actually not doing too bad for health. That's about to change, though, with this turn. Because rolling all odds. We went from, like, 30-odd health to 19. And we still have all these issues with curses and everything. Essentially, on this turn, I probably need to kill the Kraken. And we immediately get magic missiles. Yeah, done, which is rather annoying. Luckily, we do get a bit of a life drain, though. But we can't kill him this turn. But can the Kraken kill me this turn with 23 health remaining? Now, actually, the Kraken could have won there. Technically, the Kraken could have won there. That was a really dumb idea. Don't know why the Kraken's an idiot, but the Kraken's an idiot. Yeah, Kraken could have won there with Overwhelm Plus. Kraken could have beaten me. Kraken didn't. Great AI. I'm fine with that. Anyway, one thing that I do here is I don't take Hex, but I do just go to the next floor. Because really, the more battles I take, the worse it's going to be for me. Plus also, we can sort of level up close to the boss. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, essentially, skip floor 4 as much as you can. That's another tactic for episode 4. Skip floor 4. So with the skeleton, really, Curse is annoying, but if we can get, like there, for example, some Ice Shard potential, it could be really good for us. Unfortunately, we do get Curse there, which is probably the worst one we could have got, because this is going to be some big damage by the skeleton. especially with a two-handed sword. But I do have Crystal Ball next round, so hopefully, fingers crossed, might be able to get some good stuff. I do roll a 4, which is quite good, to get myself a second Ice Shard. And the next step pretty much is trying to bait out the curse. So I was able to bait out the curse on Magic Missile, which, yeah, it does good damage. But, to be honest, the healing, the healing and the chance of, essentially, yeah, putting our opponent down to just just to ones the entire time, which is really good, because I do not want my dice being locked. That's probably one of the worst things that could happen. We do also bait out the Magic Missile again, but unfortunately, I rolled really badly here. So we were only able to get 1 freeze off instead of 2. So essentially hoping for just something good. And it wasn't too bad, actually. With a 2 and a 4 there, and the 4 was frozen. So quite good altogether. So we do have a roll of 5 here, which is quite good. And again, we bait the curse out. Brilliant. I mean, cursed is really annoying just to deal with. And essentially, we just need to try and bait it out as much as we can. If it goes through, that's still good damage for Magic Missile, so why not? Like there, for example. We do get the 1, and we actually get lucky here, and the curse doesn't go off at all. That's a 50% chance of it going off, so 3 times, essentially, we rolled heads. Quite good. We flipped heads. Right, so this is a good turn, actually, for this, but we do not get the life drain, but we do get the Ice Shard, which is still very useful. To the point now we have more health than the skeleton does, because the skeleton's just been rolling like 3 damage a turn, and we've been doing more than that, even with this. So, it's Crystal Ball time. And the Magic Missile does not go off, which is a bit of a shame. The Life Drain does. Which means that we do still win, though. Which is fine, but not the greatest in the world. We still need to get another win. And it is against the Wicker Man. Here's where Segment 2 comes in. And I do change to Ice Shard and Life Drain instead of Magic Missile and Life Drain, simply because Wicker Man, again, quite similar, needs high rolls. If we can remove those rolls, it's quite useful for us. An amazing first turn for us, pretty much, as we get 8 damage off, 1 freeze, and we get all that. But yeah, as you can see, Venus Flytrap needs a 6 to gain health back, and yeah, the other move, Countdown, but it just does lots and lots of damage. Not great. But with this, at least we do get Ice Shard and a little bit of health back, which is fine, while the Wicker Man is slowly losing health. Wicker Staff, deal 9 damage, burn 2 dice. Not fun. Not fun at all. So for this, we do get the 6 for the Hall of Mirrors. Then we re-roll and get ourselves a 1. I believe we use a 1, yeah. And then we get another Life Drain out to get another one of these, and then chuck the other 2 at the Wicker Man. Good thing at least about the Wicker Man, it's, you know, it burns my dice, which is not great. But if we throw the dice at the Wicker Man, it does loads of damage. The problem is, our health is now down to a lowly 4, which is really, really bad. Essentially, I can't use both of these dice. I can now with Drain Health, though, which is quite good. We do get the second Ice Shard, which is quite useful. That's going to freeze 2, and then we throw them at the Wicker Man. If we can survive this turn, we've got a chance. And luckily, we do survive the turn by taking only 2 damage. Unfortunately, that was our next roll. A really bad turn for us. Essentially, we just can't really do too much whatsoever with this one. So yeah, we're still on 10 health, but now Wicker Man's got 1 extra to utilize, and we'll be able to get the Wicker Staff off, which puts us on 1 health. So instead, essentially, I just go Life Drain to try and get some health back as we beat the Wicker Man. Barely, but we do get the level up, and that's what I was aiming for. You get the level up there. We couldn't take an extra dice there. We do take the prepared spell slot instead and replace that with another Ice Shard. As pretty much we got full health right now. The shop's not great, but we do have a recover 10 health in there. So if I can take 20 or less damage, I'm looking good. I'm looking good for my boss. Anyway, with this, yeah, we got some interesting stuff there. Again, Ice Shard's gonna be quite useful here. So we do just do some damage, and then we do some more damage and get that freeze in, because the freeze is gonna be useful. 4 dice for the Banshee. So the Banshee can silence me with a 5 or more, so that's why this is very useful. Rubbish rolls there, though. Rolling 3 2s. And then we do finally get some odds. So with this, we do go for the duplicates, but unfortunately it doesn't work because of the curse. That was a risk, but it would have been nice if it had worked. But we do now have duplicates for future. No, we don't. I replace it with the Hall of Mirrors. That's fair enough. Alright, this is a big turn that I'm going to take a lot of damage on, which is not good. The silence is also annoying, because that silences a lot of stuff. We do get the 6, though. So that is certainly something that can be utilized. Now it's all about nothing gets cursed. Again, really fortunate. And that 5 is now gone. So no silence this round. But we do have our limit break, which could be incredibly useful here. In the end, we do roll and we do get another 6, which is quite useful for the Hall of Mirrors. We now have 5 dice in the fight, and we do have a life drain. But also, we got a lot of life drains we can utilize here. We end up using that to getting us back up to 31 health after that really bad turn. This is also a bad turn, though, as we are silenced yet again and take some more damage. But at least they're not 6s that will freeze my dice. So at least there's that. But now we have, yeah, at least we now have 5 dice per turn. So, essentially, the Ice Shard doesn't go off, but one of the Ice Shards does. But now we've got 6s to deal with, which is another silence for us. Not great. Plus another curse, and we're essentially down to 19 health already. But we do have a really, really good roll here. And we do get the life drain, we do get one of them, and we get the second Ice Shard. Very fortunate there. So after a really good turn from the Banshee last time round, not so good this time round. No silence, but still very, very annoying to deal with. With this, we do potentially win. If it wasn't for that curse, that is. So, yeah, not great here. Essentially, I'm thinking, do I use my roll extra dice? I end up doing so, and getting a second life drain, because I need to try and get as much health as possible right now. I get a decent amount of it, and then we beat the Banshee. So, yeah, we end up losing 20 health there, which, to be honest, not the worst thing. We can buy this health. We can eat this health, and then we can buy that health. And that puts us to our final segment of this 3-segment horrible, horrible run. We're against Aoife. So, yeah. Essentially, we go for 2 Ice Shards and a Life Drain. Initially, it wasn't working, so instead I went for Hall of Mirrors, because Aoife's ability is essentially get shields, bash with shields. So, yeah, Life Drain wouldn't be very useful here. Anyway, we do end up getting a duplicate on our first turn, which is not too bad, but I would have preferred a bit more damage than that. But yeah, this character, I hate the Witch. As a character, I hate the Witch. You know, for runs like this, you know, like the first run was bad enough, and then, you know, you do this to me. Ugh. I understand. I completely get it, you know. You know, it's a roguelike. There's got to be one character that's going to be, like, really annoying to play. You know, or just really, really difficult, you know. And the problem is, yeah, that's fair. I completely understand that. But that doesn't make it fun. Also, look at those crap rolls. Look at those utter garbage rolls. But yeah, that doesn't make it enjoyable. Like, at all. Yeah, and that's all the problem where a lot of certain characters come in, like in roguelikes. They're just difficult for difficult's sake. The rest of them are at least interesting, and add a new sort of dynamic to the game. This character essentially just means you've got to work harder to get your slots that you had before. So we do in the end start getting Life Drain going, because now that we have 2 Ice Shards and everything else, we can use the Ice Shards to break the shields, and then we can use Life Drain to keep our health alive. But at the moment, we're not looking that good right now. We're at 16 health, while Aoife's got almost triple that. Luckily, we do get a duplicate, which is quite useful. I almost make the mistake there of going for the Life Drain on shields, which would have been a terrible decision. But now we're on 19 versus 35, which looks a lot better. Still doesn't mean, though, that there was a chance that we could have lost this. Luckily, though, Aoife's just going for, like, really, really bad AI. Like, quite honestly, Aoife could have beaten me if she'd just gone broadsword quite often instead of just going for the charge. Because that is whatever your dice is plus 3 damage. There we go. So that's when it was used. But now it's 13 to 23. And we have our crystal ball active. So this is where it comes in. The duplicate comes in. Double ice shard goes off. And we got a mountain of 3s to utilize to get more life drain. So now, I think for the first time in this battle, our health is higher than Aoife's is. But essentially, if we survive this round, we've got a good chance of winning. A very good chance of winning. And with that, we take 5 damage when we could have taken, like, 8. Instead, we don't. Unfortunately, our rolls were very bad in this one. Like, really, really crap rolls. Which is quite unfortunate. Unfortunately, the life drain, we do at least get 1 health back, but now it's sort of, okay, now it's 15 health. Luckily, we do get quite good with the rolls, we get good with the freeze, so Aoife's only got 3 shield now, while we have 10 health, so essentially we're on the same amount, and there are those 2 5s, those lovely 5s, which ends this. There we go. And with that, a segmented run, yes, but a run that we have defeated Episode 4 as the Witch. I don't do this very often, you know. I don't do a post-recording very often. It's not something that I'm a really big fan of. But yeah, for this one, when I've been grinding for so long over a bloody weekend, sod it. Also, yeah, a segmented run. Hopefully that's the only time I do that, but I'll let you know if I have to do that again at some point if something's really bloody annoying. But yeah, this character sucks. Can't wait for episodes 5 and 6. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go for a break here, folks. For the next episode of Let's Play Dicey Dungeons, we'll be moving on to, yeah, the Jester. Jester 4. Hopefully, way better than this. We can only hope. I'll see you then.